Hello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Professor. How are you?
Good, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Zoom meeting. If you have any questions in terms of the NLPF and any issues about farming, so kindly you can unmute yourself, raise your questions, and have a face-to-face discussion with Professor.
Hello. Happy weekend. And we had some questions. Somebody said have a question from Bangladesh. Is anyone here from Bangladesh? I guess not. Okay. They had some issue of the leaf burning on the rice. So I'm not sure if they are coming here today to discuss but anyway, we can talk a little bit of that too. Normally, NOPF, as well as most of the amino acids fertilizer any plant, they shouldn't impose any leaf burning. But the concentration is always we have to watch. So amino acids fertilizer only have suppose only have the amino acids and some trace elements in it. So amino acids normally will not impose any leaf burning. But the trace elements, they exist, even the single elements, but it's still a metal with some as a salt formation. Very low concentration. If we spray the dishwasher or any salt solution onto plants, it will burn the plants. So the same reason, the amino acid fertilizer, they have some minerals inside. So it's still, even the concentration is very low, most of it is amino acids. Amino acids will not compose any leaf burning, but the trace elements though, then since the NOPF, the trace elements in NOPF is so low, they call the trace elements because, which means almost very low amount, not like amino acids. Amino acids, we have over 10% of your volume are amino acids in your bottle. But the trace elements, how much? I don't know if I can find any. Yeah, here. Okay. The trace elements is less than 1%. So it's each liter have about about 20, total add them all together is like 20 grams a liter. So it's 0.2% of the whole bottle. Anyway, how can I share? Where's my Zoom? So you can see that this form. The amino acid is 122.9 grams or ml per liter. So it's over 10%. For the trace elements here, add all them together, or maybe the individual, either anyway, it's less than 1%. This is 2 grams per liter, 2 grams per liter, 19 grams per liter. It's almost, it cannot impose any burning on the leaf. But we do have reports, some people, they get burning on the not only for Bangladesh. We had a report in the past to complain or report. So first we have to think this NOPF, we shouldn't have any leaf burning. If we have any burning, so then we have to think, look at why. Okay. Why? I lost that slide. Because the leaf impacts, they have a lot of, we had that. Can you see this slide? For the anything, how many factors can change your application? You have application time. If we apply any fertilizer or any herbicides or insecticides, you have to make sure you apply the time. You don't apply when they're hot or a lot of sunlight. If sunlight too much, they will be evaporated too fast. When you evaporate too fast, even you apply the concentration is very low and immediately become a high concentration because your water lost. Your water, when you spray on the film on the plant leaf, when sunshine came in, when it's hot, the water immediately disappear. Then you only have amino acids, all the trace elements, or if you spray the pesticides on the leaf, then even you spray any chemical. Well, ours is not called chemical, we call it nutrients. Then we be on the residue. Then your concentration outside the leaf become high. The concentration inside of the plant cell become low. Water is always go to from low concentration to the high concentration. This we remember when in the middle school we learned that the water is always migrate from the lower concentration to the high concentration. Then you outside the concentration high, then you get a burning. If we have face, you have some pimple here, kind of a little bit swollen. You cannot control. You talk to the doctor and they cannot solve the issue. You can put a little bit of salt on it. What happens? The pimple will disappear. Why? Because the water inside your pimples on the face, inside is a lot of water inside it. Outside your skin, you put a little bit of salt on the top, so much concentration on the top, and the water will come out of your skin, then your pimple disappear. So same thing, why we get a leaf burning? Burning is outside the concentration too high, inside too low. So we avoid that. We avoid, don't spray anything when it's hot, which means from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock if your region is a hot place. If it's in the northern plate, then you want to spray in the comfortable temperature. You don't want to spray too early in the morning, too late in the evening. So you spray the time, keep the moisture stable. Then you don't have burning. So second is the application technique is, well, then you have a lot. Like the droplets. The droplets, all this will be impacted on the, I didn't invent this list. This is coming from all this is that guy. So I copied that list. I've made some changes. So the concentration, the third one is the concentration. Concentration, we recommend is a 1 ml to 1 liter of the dilution. This is safe. For the last couple of years, our NOPF have more We remember we saw the one of the report, the technical analytical report. We have more nutrients in the NOPF. So the concentration itself is higher than in the first earlier version. So we have more nutrients in the bottle. When we say 1 ml to a liter, it's safe. When we have some pamphlets with the 3/4 pamphlets, you see sometimes you put a half ml to a liter or 1 ml to 2 liters. Why is that? It depends on your leaf age. When the leaf too young, then you should reduce your concentration because your leaf will be sensitive to burning. So we can have high concentration. You can go up to 2 ml a liter or 1 ml to 500 ml. But you can, that concentration you have to be applied to the leaf very old age, not too old. When they see the leaf too old, start changing like if the corn, if maize, the top leaf is green, like a yellowish. The middle is dark green. The lower part is like a yellowish. When the yellowish leaf, you shouldn't spray anymore onto it because they are dying and they are not good. So when we say old leaves, we say leaves is like in the dark green. When you spray on them, their surface of the leaf, they have kind of a lot of, actually have started having some wax, and they leave skin much thicker, so you don't get you're strong, you don't get the burning. Basically, what it means is the water will be conserved much better inside the leaf when you apply anything on top. So we recommend 1 ml to a liter. Every batch of the NOPF are different concentration. Why? Because we got this from natural procedure, from enzymatic or something digesting or fermentation, break it down the large molecule of the fibers, fatty acids, or protein, anything, becomes smaller concentration, but we are not synthesizing it. It's not in the lab. We pipette how many grams, add them together, make, if we say 10, 10, 10, which means only 10% nitrogen. We don't have extra if we buy the brand name or the conventional fertilizer. But for NOPF with natural procedure, you cannot make exact what concentration. So every batch of NOPF, the concentration is different. But they meet the minimum requirement, the standard. Standard is 10% of the volume are amino acids. You have more than 10%, either get 11%, 12%, 19%. You don't get 200% because the manufacturer, the company will lose money if we do that. So you kind of from 10% to 20% is a variation. They save time to split to make adjustment. So you can always get a bonus more than 10%. So you need to watch this concentration. But a lot of times you don't see the label, or your label maybe didn't give you the report. For the large application, for your or especially for the large ones, you have to do the trial experiment. If you have for any thing you spray, you should do trial. The trial, you have two methods. How do you try? One is you try, if you have 1 hectare of the land, you try maybe 10 meter by 10 meter, little square, and you spray the concentration of the label that you do, and to see if anything happens. How the plant responds. If it's safe, then you do it. That's why we have experimental stations. That's why we have college students. That's why we have all these research people. we do this testing, make sure it works, safe, efficient. But every batch is different. Every people, the research people cannot cover every corner of every country. So some people, some places different. For your safety, you should do a test before you start for the large scale application. So when you do one of the small corner, you spray, you try to test to see if it's safe. If nothing burning, then you can do it. This is one method. Do the small square, small region. Another way for testing is if they tell you make a dilution 1 ml, 1 gram per liter, you actually can do half, which means you do 0.5 ml or 1 ml to 2 liters. If you 20-liter tank, you only put 10 ml inside the tank. You cut half. Then you can spray everywhere and to see if anything change. If it's normal, it's okay. Next time you can add a little bit. Now why we already discussed that. The fertilizer concentration is not like any drugs, not like a pesticides. We don't have a concentration requirement, the minimum concentration requirement. We have a maximum concentration requirement. We don't want to put too high the ceiling of the concentration. We don't want to put more than 2 ml per liter. One is for the safety of avoid leaf burning. Second is you waste the time and the money. The plants only can take that much. If you put too much, the plants cannot take. You waste it. But how low concentration you can go, this is a fertilizer, this is a food, this is nutrients. You can have one bite, a snack in the morning as your breakfast, or you can take a huge bowl of the food in the morning as your breakfast. So food, you can take no minimum, only have a maximum. You cannot, my belly cannot stomach, it's only that big, so I cannot eat it anymore, but I can eat it as little as possible. The benefits of the low concentration of the fertilizer is the water. The time you give the plants, even very low concentration of the fertilizer, you give them a water. Water is the most important nutrients of plants, except in addition to the air. So air, water are most important. We don't realize that, but they are nutrients too. So when you give very low concentration of the fertilizer, give them a lot, which means you give them a lot of water each time, then water is a nutrient. So plants can take, plants will getting better. So by this two test method, one is a little corner to test the recommendation solution concentration to test to see if there's any response. Second is use the same label concentration, not a label concentration. If you could cut half of the concentration, then you can try. And if nothing damage, you can back to the normal. If you have the time I was always put the lowest concentration of the fertilizer in the water and apply this. Apply any fertilizer principle is a little bit many times. Little bit fertilizer each time, but for many times. This is the best approach for fertilizer. Only the bad part is taking a lot of time, because every time you spray, you use time. If you use a machine, you use your gas or use electricity. But if you have free time, and like in your garden, you always use much water, you put a little bit concentration of the fertilizer. So this is a two method of testing. Then you will be ensure you have any new chemicals, new fertilizers safely applied on your lot, on your plants. For the wetting agent, we haven't talked about this at all in the past. Sometimes the liquid you spray is not totally water soluble. When you spray on plants, and it will become you see this, can you see? Like a ball, a bead like on the leaf. And you will easily sliding off. How do you make sure don't let them lost running away? Is you put some wetting agent and make this ball flat. Make the ball flat, then you will be these droplets will be stay on your leaf, will not sliding away. You increase the contact area, then you be much. So it used to be that way, and you flat, and you collect all your droplets is contact the leaf surface, then will stay. How do you make that happen? Is you add some detergent, like your dishwasher or some other detergents, and make these droplets more water soluble, so it will be more flat, and it will stay on your leaf part. This is if your solution is not that high water soluble. Another thing is the plant's leaf. Each plant leaf surface is different. Some surface they have a lot of hairs on the top. Some surface have a lot of wax on top. Some surfaces nothing, but no wax or little wax. When they have wax, especially some older leaves, and when they spray on the top of the leaf, they cannot stay. They just sliding away. So that you need to put some wetting agent. Wetting agent basically is detergent to dissolve a little bit of their skin. Then something spray on the top, they will stay. So this is most of the people don't use. Some large farm they use. Large farm they always have another bucket of the wetting agent. And this is make a judgment yourself with the concentration, how much you put in. You have to. This is another part of science, and you need to have a lot of experience. You also have to be the wetting agent itself can lead leaf burning, can create leaf burning. So don't put too much at all. You put a very little leaf wetting agent. And if you don't know, don't put. So this is for general people. these top these things have impact on the application. So other stuff we don't need to think too much, but I still don't know why they have the rice leaf burning in Bangladesh. The rice, the normal, and I don't know that their rice, the age, the plant is too young or plants is too big. So I hope they are here. We can talk, can tell me what exactly happened. So anyone has a question on this? You guys are quiet. Anyone know this story and from Bangladesh, or anyone has experience of the leaf burning, apply anything onto the leaf?
Hello.
Another thing, yes.
I have experience use this product. I
Hello?
sprayed. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Actually, fertilizer is very good product.
Yes.
I use my mango plantation.
Okay.
And I have already get good result. So I think if we can properly share this product benefit all over Bangladesh, it makes a good market,
Yeah.
especially greenwood fertilizer. I think so. So we need proper training in Bangladesh.
Mhm.
Every week need a good presentation, especially all products in Bengali and also in English.
They don't speak English.
Yes.
Okay. If they speak English, and we every other week, and we have open discussion like today, and I talk to you, discuss everything with you, any question you have, and every other week we have have a lecture. She will talk about the basic science of this fertilizer. So you are welcome, all your friends or your farmers, welcome to join us. We do every week.
Sure.
Yeah, we do every week. Maybe I may not promise we can answer you every question you have, but I will help you. If not today, I will help you next time. So make sure we actually one of one of the supervisors is from Bangladesh. So and we're so close. I can come from China. We're close. We're friends.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank
tell
you.
your friends to come in to join us, and this week, and I talk to you, and next week, the lecture, Miss Ming, she will talk about the basic science, but I'm still in the session, so you still can ask questions, even she is lecturing or give the presentation. You still can ask questions, so we can stop the presentation, just address all the questions. The objective of this Zoom meeting, weekly Zoom meeting, and in charge by Mr. Wang, we do help everyone to do scientifically farming, scientifically apply the fertilizer. I'm not a businessman, I'm a scientist. So that's why I only can answer to discuss any science questions, not business.
Actually, we have a good presenter, Mr. Abdul Salam, who conduct meeting from Bangladesh.
Okay, good.
Mr. Abdul Salam, you can closely contact with him. He is my friend. I studied the biochemistry and molecular biology.
Okay, also Mr. Budiman, and he has a good connection with us, and we see each other many times. So if you have any question, you can let him know. He actually monitor a lot of like a WhatsApp, a lot of discussion platform. I'm not good at WhatsApp, so don't expect me answer anything in the WhatsApp because I still don't know how to use it. And I use
Professor Zhang,
yes.
Professor Zhang, Mr. Budiman speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, in January, I've been traveling to Bangladesh, and I've been sharing the training of Nutriplant Organic Plus Fertilizer in our head office in Dhaka, Bangladesh. But in fact, many of our leaders in Bangladesh they already starting selling the fertilizer to different farmers. But some of them they talk to me, they discuss with me that many of the farmers are facing this challenge, just like the question I've been sharing to Madam Rainy Wang, that many farmers experience the burnout after using the our organic fertilizer. I think it's maybe the mindset of the farmers in Bangladesh. They still have this mindset that if we give more fertilizer, the result will be much better. In fact,
No.
that is not working in our fertilizer. We have to follow. So we have one leader here in the forum, Mr. Iftikhar. Mr. Iftikhar also he has his own plantation, mango plantation. He has dragon fruit plantation.
Okay.
So he experienced using our Nutriplant Organic Plus fertilizer, and even he is recommending that to reduce the dilution rate from 1 ml to 1 liter, reduce to half ml to 1 liter, or even a quarter ml to 1 liter.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on the situation of the farmers. Many of them they are telling us that most of the farmers in Bangladesh have been using this chemical fertilizer for long, so the soil quality is not so good. Will this Nutriplant Organic Plus fertilizer can help them to solve this kind of problem when they don't have a good soil? I mean, maybe they never even check the soil pH. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to neutralize the acidity of the soil. So it's hard for them to get a good result, even though they are using our Nutriplant Organic Plus fertilizer. So maybe we need your advice, Professor. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anytime. And the most important thing is it's called scientifically apply any fertilizer is the not understanding the whole ecosystem, the understanding your plants, understanding your soil, understanding your weather, even temperature, and understand our fertilizer. Our fertilizer basically is organic nutrients. You can say it's fertilizer because they use it as kind of like fertilizer in the conventional way, because the amino acids they containing nitrogen elements in the amino acids, and nitrogen is a macro or large fertilizer. And also we have a lot of minerals, the trace elements. This is also conventional called fertilizer. That's why we can call this an OPF as the fertilizer, but it's actually a food, it's nutrients to plants. Plus the nutrients to plants is also acting as a plant stimulator. So a lot of benefits to use NOPF in place of the conventional fertilizer, but not totally replace NPK. NPK, you still need NPK in the soil as the base in the beginning of the growing season. And then we use NOPF during the growing season, spray on the leaf. This is where you maximize your yield. It's reduce the application or use of the conventional fertilizer by using NOPF. If you don't use NOPF, you have to use NPK all the time. And each time you use NPK, you actually, of course, you provide the nutrients to plants. Meantime, you change your soil. Okay, good. So the objective we want is sustainable agriculture. We want our agriculture to long-lasting, not a 1 year, not a 1 generation. We want our soil every year. We got to not only use them, not deplete them, not damage them. We want your soil enrich each year. Then you have long-term agriculture. Also, when you use organic things, your food, if you don't sell this, you eat it yourself. Of course, you use nutrient, organic stuff. You don't want to use any chemicals because everything you put in the soil, put in your plants, you back to your mouth, so you could eat it, and you damage yourself. Especially if you vegetable, if the rice for your own use, you don't want to use anything chemicals because you are going to eat this rice. So this is the benefits of the NOPF. By each time we use NOPF, we will reduce same amount of the conventional fertilizer. Then your soil actually will be bad every time. But take years, you cannot totally eliminate NPK because we expecting high yield right now from last 100 years. We cannot go back low yield. We have to have high yield. And we cannot suddenly switch everything to organic unless your farm labeled or registered as organic farm. Then you have to use organic. Then you have no choice if we don't use NOPF. You cannot use NPK anymore if you register organic farm. So NOPF is only way to continue your organic farming. Another thing is in, I don't know Bangladesh, I know Africa, they have a dry season and a rainy season. If the dry season, if we put your NPK, conventional fertilizer in the soil, will be totally nothing happens because your soil is dry. You lost your money. Nothing will happen. Totally waste. You cannot use NPK into soil at a dry season. You only can use the rainy season. So when you in the tropical, in the dry season, rainy season places, you use NPK as the base right beginning of the rainy season. Then when you use the soil fertilizer into the soil, the water will be dissolved these nutrients, make them available for plants to use. And nitrogen will be used right away. And the P and K will take a long time. So it will be, that's why we put NPK as base in the beginning of the rainy season. Then P and K will be eventually, slowly, gradually to be available as a water-soluble format during the late season. Then will be good. And also you can put another NPK into the latest by close to the ending of the rainy season. You know, our rainy season will be stopping maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. We may put another time of NPK into the soil. Because you put anything in the soil, you need a water. If you don't water, no water, you don't put anything put in the soil. So then you put a second. So NPK for the rainy season, dry season places, you put earlier, begin right before rainy season, you put one NPK in soil, and towards end of the rainy season, you put a second time of NPK into the soil, let water make its water soluble. If not, and also the plants, the microorganism in the soil will help you to change this P and K. Nitrogen always water soluble immediately. So that thing is for the, if we are not registered as an organic farm, you still use NPK as a base. But if your soil is good, or you have enough organic compost or animal manure or anything green manure, you don't have to use NPK as a base. You just put a lot of organic stuff into the soil, and then will be like in my hometown, we have summertime from March to November is growing season, and from December to March is a winter time. So we had wheat and faba bean and a pea. This can grow in the winter time. So right before the next spring season come in, then we will this all the green manure, all this green manure will become large, very big. Then we can turn into the soil as the base. So if you can do that, you don't have to put NPK in the soil. In the end, you will need to understand your soil situation. So you need to either by look at the soil, if you don't have to pay, you don't want to pay somebody to analyze your soil, you need to watch your soil particles, granule situation. Your soil is soft or like cement. How about the air and the water can easily move inside the soil? The color is dark or totally like a red or totally like a white. So if the dark soil like a soft, and if we granule and the water coming, they can keep the soil, keep the water in the soil for a long time. And also the nutrients can keep inside the granule for the particles, for soil particles. So for the long term, we wanted to improve all this, your soil. So for actually, let me see if we are talking about the application here anyway. So this is all this what we are going to talk. For the leaf burning, also we have, you see the thing, the leaf structure in the, normally we have the top side have the stomata much less than the bottom side. So you also use the where you spray is also make a difference. We're talking about all this temperature, relative humidity is also important when you got a leaf burning issue. If the too dry, it is indirectly or directly from the sun, from the time of the day, but also relative humidity is itself. If we don't think anything else, if the high relative humidity when you spray, your spray solution, the film, we will stay on leaf for longer time. The same thing as I talked about a little bit earlier is the concentration. The water concentration, the migration of the water concentration is always from lower concentration to the high concentration. If your air relative humidity is high, and then you outside have a lot of water, that will keep your surface very stable condition. Then your plants, the water droplets will not dry fast. I see a lot of message. Let me see. How do I get it in this chat room? What is the main difference between NOPF and a traditional fertilizer? The main difference of NOPF and a traditional fertilizer is we are organic. Traditional fertilizer is a chemical fertilizer. And second, we have NOPF. The major components are amino acids. They can give plants amino acids, not only elements. While the traditional fertilizer, they give you elements, NPK, NOPF, they give them amino acids. So they save a lot of time from the beginning of the synthesis from N to amino acids, and amino acids to protein. So this is a long chain. If you feed them amino acids, they will skip the early stage of the nutrients or protein synthesis production. So much faster. That's why when you spray NOPF, they work immediately in 2 or 3 days. If you give them fertilizer, traditional fertilizer take a long time. Another thing is traditional fertilizer is a fertilizer only give you the nutrients. They don't give you plant hormone or the stimulate. And also they give a lot of good signal for defense, increase the immune system of the plants. The other traditional elements fertilizer don't have. For the results, for the impact on the soil, NOPF is positive. They don't give any bad results to the soil, but conventional fertilizer, every time you use, you damage your soil. So this, and also what I have. We have a lot of difference, but this is a key.
Yeah,
much efficient way and more economic. For conventional fertilizer, you need a lot. You can waste about 70 average. You lost 70% your conventional fertilizer when you spray, when you put in the soil. You only can use about maximum. You can 30%, 70% you lost. But for the NOPF, you spray on the leaf, you maximize anything you put on the leaf. You don't lose that much. So this is a lot of difference. I have a dragon fruit, papaya, rice paddy fields can take 3rd dose as buried. Okay, that's you can. Yeah, you can. NOPF is good for any plants. Doesn't matter what rice, mango, papaya, anything. So only thing is we need now the timing and the dosage. How to apply is the key. That's why we discuss here. And for the safety, you don't want to go to high concentration. Always high concentration. You have the risk burning leaf. You also have the risk loss your money because the plants cannot take too much if we feed them too much, like we do. We cannot continuously eat too much, but we can eat a little. We always go a little bit many times. That's for fertilizer. Little bit of many times for food, for people's food too. You don't want to eat one time, big deal. You eat a little bit all the time. The plants, keep in mind, little bit every time. You don't have minimum concentration versus any pesticides, any drug, you have the minimum requirement. Whatever pesticides you use, the label says how much you have to put how much. You cannot say, oh, okay, I'm going to cut half. No. Insecticides, pesticides. So pesticides, you have pesticides general term. You have insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, all these herbicides, or miticides, all these sides combined together called pesticides. So all the pesticides, they have a minimum dosage requirement. But the fertilizer, NOPF, we don't have a minimum concentration requirement. We don't want you get too much in concentration in the soil, in the liquid. So that's the thing. Is the NOPF working in Bangladesh? But the problem is the first dose is needed, second dose, third dose. So if the rice field, if 0.25, 0.5 all works, what you mean you did a test, like I said in the earlier time. You did a test, cut half, a 1/4%, 2.5, 0.25 is working, 0.5 is working. When you do the 1 ml, you feel too much, get it burning, then you should stop. So that's why you have to always do a test. Doesn't matter anything people give to you. You have to do two tests. You remember what I said this today? You have 2 methods to do the test. One is use the labeled recommended dosage concentration in a small area, test to see if it's okay. This is one method. So small area tested as a normal dosage. Another way test is cut your dosage half or cut another half. You start from a low and build it up. So you guys are smart. Started with 0.25. It's good, nice. I added half. I used 0.5. It was okay. And I was saying 1 ml. Oh, it's too much. Okay, I'm going to stop at 0.5. Don't use 1 ml to liter, 1 to a liter. So the test is always the best way to do anything. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. That's you guys are so good. You do Ethan Tabo so say you do tests. We need to do tests. Apply. I have applied fertilizer. I'm getting some good results from all places and some not good. What is the reason? Reason. Sometimes you spray some place good, some place not good. Why? Because you need a kind of totally. You're acting like a doctor. The doctor, how do you doctor do? Listen to what you say. Okay. You tell me what's your situation. Oh, my rice field, mango field, and how about everything? And how about your nutrients? How about your soil? How about everything? So you put everything together. Then you think, what's the basic science there? Basic science, NOPF adds the nutrients of amino acids is good from seedling stage to the flowering stage, to the early seedlings, early fruiting stage. For the plants, if you plant grow this way, and they go to plateau and harvest. All the fertilizer good for this from low to the high, the vegetative growth stage, you should use this at this line. You need to use a little bit in the earlier time of the flowering or peak flowering or fruiting season. If not a long-lasting fruiting season, you only use the early season. If your fruiting season is so long, 5-6 months, then you think about still use the early. If your total fruiting season is 6 months, you maybe use the first 2 or 3 months. You don't need to use the late season. Towards the end, you don't need to use it. So you understand the situation, then you're acting like I'm a doctor. I'm thinking all these questions and put them together, then you can find out why some place works, why some place not work. And if you want to share your experience, share your analysis next time, and we can discuss together. Most chemical fertilizers have been applied to our countries. Okay. Bangladesh has a high temperature at day, low temperature at night, plus yeah. So if you Bangladesh like a tropical, like Africa, then you should apply the early morning, late afternoon. Don't do anything on even don't do the watering your plants during the middle of the day. So plants is so dry, it's like a kind of like a wilting. You don't water them during the daytime, even if it's drying out. Any people have idea? If not, we can discuss next time why we cannot water them during the day, very hot time. So even cannot water them, so which means you cannot spray them either. So you only spray during the early morning, late afternoon. We can do, as you said, we can do little amount feeding. Great, I see all the questions. So little, many times. This is for fertilizer, not the pesticides. For fertilizer, always do small amount, many times. So if you have any questions, we will see and have another questions. Okay, didn't say anything. So I hope I can give you some ideas. We have leaf burning issue. So next time, you're welcome to participate discussion every week. You will not change the time. I will, because I started today 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Next week I will start at 10 o'clock because we are starting to have summertime. I'm in New York, so from this Sunday we will move 1 hour early. Next time I see you at my time 10 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Mr. Budiman, for arranging this group discussion with distributors from Bangladesh. You may attend this Zoom meeting on a weekly basis. You can sign your leaders and the trainers to have a group discussion with Professor and bring the answers back to your distributors. So thank you very much. We're going to see you next week. So still, if you have any more questions, you can send it to Mr. Budiman, or you can attend this Zoom meeting on Saturdays and have a face-to-face discussions with Professor. So thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. We're going to
Mr.
see
Budiman
you next week.
Yeah, Mr. Budiman is the best. So you can get him all the time, and he can get me all the time.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Reni.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Have a nice
Enjoy your
weekend.
weekend. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.